I'm Rob Thompson, Chief of Materials at Arrival. The way it began was, Dennis was really clear at the start. He was like, with everything that you know, how would you build a vehicle now? What's really exciting in the world of materials? And so that's where we started from. We just dug into where all the development was, where robotics was going, where polymer chemistry was being developed, where recycling was strongest. We looked at all the key players and all of the opportunities that presented themselves. The brief was really clear from the start. How do we build vehicles at price parity with a conventional diesel vehicle? Now, what that means when you're putting a large, expensive, heavy battery into a vehicle is that you need to make the body system lighter and lower cost. We rethought the vehicle architecture and rethought the materials to create something genuinely new. We've taken a completely different approach, a radical approach to how we make our vehicles. So we're using distributed microfactories, and that means that we needed to develop materials and processes that could fit that model. So we needed to do away with the big, heavy, expensive steel stamping tools, paint lines, welding lines, these things that cost billions to set up and are with a company for years, decades even. We wanted to establish a very nimble and agile approach to manufacturing. You have to develop the material and the process together to achieve the microfactory model. If you were setting up a production line for a conventional metal stamped car, then you're looking at something like €1 million a square metre for the tooling and a 12-month lead time. Now, with our process, we've got that lead time down to just a few weeks, and our tooling investment is tens of thousands instead of millions. So we can turn around products very quickly, we can go from prototype to production very quickly, and it really supports this microfactory model. So everything starts from a fabric. All that we're doing is fabric-based. And like that in itself is fundamentally new. We're trying to build all of the performance that we want in the finished material into fabrics. And so what we're doing is we're mixing the garment industry, conventional textile industry, automation, and we're bringing those things together. And so we're finding this, really nice serendipity in some places that we just wouldn't have discovered if we weren't mixing these different industries together. And it's got us to the stage where we bring rolls of fabric into the factory and we deliver finished panels to the vehicles at the other end of the factory.
My name is John Steele and I'm the Head of Sustainability at Arrival. Our composite materials are fully recyclable, so any waste that's generated during the process can be reused and recycled into new products. We're doing this from the two kind of sources of waste. There's materials that come from offcuts from the ply cutter, and there's materials that come from the trimming process once the material has been moulded. Both of these materials have the potential to produce new components for vehicles, or they could be reused in other applications.
If you were to take a conventional steel panel and compare it to ours, then we're less than half the weight. If we take 125 kilos out of a conventional body system, then that equals something like 10 kilometers range per charge, or about 800 kilos of CO2 in the lifetime of a vehicle. So through this material development, we're making a significant impact on the sustainability of the vehicle too. Now, what we can do with a composite material that you can't do with monolithics like metals is that we can build in additional strength where we need it. We have far higher ductility. So in a low-speed impact where you'd expect to have to replace the metallic body system, our panels actually bounce back from that and don't require replacement. So rather than having to repair or replace, our panels actually survive much longer out in the field. So massively reducing the potential repair bills for our customers. I've worked on material development for a long time, and you have to have a lot of faith in the opportunities that materials present, and it takes a certain type of culture to understand the opportunities of that. There's very few places in the world where you could do the sort of work that we're doing. And at Arrival, the collaboration between the teams, the trust between the teams, It's unlike anywhere else that I've been, and it means that innovations like this, they can really thrive, and the whole organisation gets behind an opportunity, whether it be an engineering opportunity or a material development or a robotic solution, and they help bring that to life.